Good afternoon and welcome to Across the Goal Line. I'm Luke Godissart. Hope everyone is having a great day so far on this Saturday, August 19th, 2017. Today I'm going to be talking some WWE wrestling. We got NXT Takeover Brooklyn 3 later tonight from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. And then tomorrow night, also on the WWE Network, August 20th, 2017, we have SummerSlam 2017, and both cards are pretty damn good, I would say. This is the first takeover special since the night before WrestleMania 33. This is the first pay-per-view for WWE since Battleground last month from Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So I'm going to be getting into both of those. Predicting both of those cards, all the matchups on both cards, and it'd be great if you guys would let me know what you think in the comments below of this YouTube video. But first, before I get into that, I just want to make sure, if you don't know already, that Across the Goal Line is on all social media. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Obviously, that's how you're listening to us at the moment. We also have an email account, acrossthegoalline2016@gmail.com, if you wish to email us for any questions or concerns. We also have merchandise available, so be sure to send us a message on all those accounts. If you would like to place an order for merchandise, we have t-shirts and hats available. Today's question of the day, it is still week 2 of the NFL preseason. We have the Denver Broncos going out to Santa Clara, California to play the San Francisco 49ers. That game is later tonight. Again, today is August 19th, 2017. That game is later tonight at 10 o'clock on NFL Network. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram. My Twitter is @CoolHandLuke96, and then my Instagram is LGodissart96. That's LGODISSART96. So without further ado now, I would like to get into the card for NXT Takeover Brooklyn 3. This is the third straight year WWE has been in Brooklyn for SummerSlam weekend, hence the name for the takeover special later tonight, NXT Takeover Brooklyn 3. So the third one in a row, after WWE would have SummerSlam in Los Angeles for a number of years before that. So it seems like they always try to hit the big markets for one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year, other than WrestleMania. So the first match later tonight is Johnny Gargano against Andre Cien Almas, as a lot of people know him as. Gargano has been a singles competitor ever since Tommaso Ciampa went down with an injury. They did split up there, but then Ciampa had went down with an injury. So yeah, that was the last. Actually, I go back on what I had said a little bit ago. The last takeover special was not the night before WrestleMania. I just remembered they had a takeover special the night before WWE Backlash. Backlash, when Jinder Mahal, the modern day Maharaja, defeated then WWE champion Randy Orton. That was in Chicago, Illinois. WWE had the NXT Takeover Chicago. I totally forgot about that. So if I hurt anybody's feelings for forgetting that, I'm sorry, but everybody forgets something every once in a while. That's when Gargano and Ciampa had split up. Ciampa got injured a short time thereafter. Might have even been that night, if I'm not mistaken. But now, as I said, Gargano has been a singles competitor ever since. He's going one-on-one against Andre Almas. I'm going to take Gargano to win this match. Maybe he can get into the NXT Championship picture after this pay-per-view. after this Takeover special, but we'll have to see depending on how the NXT Championship match comes out, how that plays out in the main event. So the next match, Aleister Black is taking on Hideo Itami. I'm going to take Black in this matchup. Itami has he's had his fair share of injuries since coming over from Japan to the WWE about 3 years ago, and the injuries he's had have kept him out a long time, and he's just now, it seems like, getting back into the fold of facing some better talent. And, you know, I would really like to see him in the NXT Championship picture. Hell, he was in the picture right before he got hurt the first time 3 years ago, back in 2014. But as I said, those injuries have kept him out. I would not be surprised if Hideo Itami leaves WWE once his contract is up. I do not know when it will come to an end, but I will not be surprised if he goes back to Japan to wrestle in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Another Japanese wrestler, Asuka, she is going to be taking on and defending her NXT Women's Championship against Ember Moon, who has also had her fair share of injuries in the past 6 to 9 months, I'd say. I'm going to take Ember Moon to win this match to become NXT Women's Champion for the first time in her career. I think it's time finally for Asuka to come up to the main roster, so I'm going to take Ember Moon, and Asuka hopefully will be up on the main roster in the near future. The Authors of Pain then will also be defending their titles, the NXT Tag Team Championships, against Sanity, Alexander Wolf, and Killian Dane, 2 members of Sanity. You also have Nikki Cross, and then the leader, Eric Young. I think the Authors of Pain will also lose their titles later tonight at NXT Brooklyn 3. I think it's time WWE brings up a more powerful tag team and potentially put them on SmackDown to compete with the New Day, because this New Day Usos feud has been going on for a while, and it's getting sort of tiring, if you ask me. So I want to take Sanity to defeat the Authors of Pain. No one's really been able to defeat the Authors of Pain since they won the NXT Tag Team Tournament, the Dusty Rhodes Classic, as the WWE likes to call it, back, I think it was October of 2015. It might have been actually this past October. I can't even remember anymore. There's too many things going on in the world today to try to keep up with everything. But I think it's time for NXT to move in a new direction. So Ember Moon will defeat Asuka, I think, and then the 2 members of Sanity, Alexander Wolf and Killian Dane, will defeat the Authors of Pain. And then, as I said, with potentially Johnny Gargano, maybe even Aleister Black and Hideo Itami to get into the NXT Championship picture. You also have a couple new guys in NXT that the WWE has signed from Ring of Honor, and then you also have Roderick Strong, who's been there for quite some time. Going back just a second ago, a couple guys that WWE had just brought in to NXT, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish from Ring of Honor. There's also some reports that Adam Cole finally has signed with the WWE. Hopefully he goes to NXT. I mean, it'd be even better if he went up to the main roster to start out, but I think it'd be best if they kept him in NXT there for a little bit. So Adam Cole, baby. Who knows? He could be making his debut, or he could be getting involved in one of these matches later tonight at NXT Brooklyn 3. We'll have to find out. And then in the main event, the last match of the night for the NXT Championship, you got Bobby Roode, who has been champion since NXT Takeover San Antonio the night before the Royal Rumble this past January. He's going to be going one-on-one against Drew McIntyre for the NXT Championship. McIntyre has been with the WWE before. He had departed from the company back in 2014 and then went to TNA, which recently just switched over to, merged with Global Force Wrestling, I should say. They actually just crowned a new champion the other night, Eli Drake, who has also been a jobber before in the WWE, if anybody did not know that. But Drew McIntyre is getting a title shot in the WWE. It seems like for the first time in forever. I mean, this is his first time back, but when he was up on the main roster, when he was in the WWE before, he was part of the three-man band with Heath Slater and Jinder Mahal. You know, so and Jinder Mahal is the WWE champion now, so I would not be surprised if Drew McIntyre wins the NXT Championship from Bobby Roode, but I would rather have Drew McIntyre be a world champion over Jinder Mahal any day of the week. Heath Slater, he's a mid-card guy. I could see him being a mid-card champion. Now McIntyre, as I said, you know, he's been champion before in the WWE, but he was the Intercontinental champion, so he never, you know, got the big push or the you know, the main event spotlight. He did get that in TNA. He was the TNA champion there for a little bit before losing it to Broken Matt Hardy, who is also back in the WWE. The Hardy Boys do have a match now at SummerSlam. It just came out the other day. But Bobby Roode, he's been champion since the night before Royal Rumble. I think he will retain. If he doesn't, I won't be mad, because I think, as I was saying just a tad bit ago, it'd be good for NXT to now move into another direction, into a new direction, and move forward with some of this younger talent that they have down there in Orlando. But we'll have to see. I mean, if Bobby Roode does lose it, you know, he'll probably be up on the main roster come Monday night or Tuesday night for Monday Night Raw or SmackDown Live there next week. So we'll have to see about that. And then you got SummerSlam tomorrow night. So I'll get into that now, I guess, because that was all the matches for NXT Takeover Brooklyn 3. You got 3 matches on the pre-show. One, as I just said, was just announced the other day. You got the Hardy Boys and Jason Jordan, who, this whole storyline with Kurt Angle is just flat out stupid. Him being his illegitimate son. You know, I guess Angle did have the hots for some African American women back in his heyday, but he does look like him. I'll give WWE that. I thought Chad Gable looked more like Angle than Jason Jordan did, but it is what it is. So the Hardy Boys are they're teaming up with Jason Jordan, and going one-on-one with The Miz and The Miztourage. I really don't care for this match, to be honest with you guys, so I could really care less how it turns out, but I'm going to take the Hardy Boys and Jason Jordan to defeat The Miz and The Miztourage. Another match on the pre-show is a championship rematch between Akira Tozawa and Neville. This past week on Monday Night Raw, if you missed it, and I'm sorry if you did, because I'm going to spoil the news for you right about now, Akira Tozawa defeated Neville to become the new Cruiserweight champion, but I don't think his reign is going to last long. I think the king of the Cruiserweights, Neville, will get his Cruiserweight championship back tomorrow night at SummerSlam from Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. So I think Neville will get his title back and defeat Tozawa to become a Cruiserweight champion for the second time in his career. Another match, and the last match on the pre-show, is the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championship. For the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships, the New Day, the champions, are going toe-to-toe with the Usos. I think the New Day will retain. I really could care less about this as well. That's why I said earlier, possibly about bringing up the Authors of Pain to go head-to-head with the New Day then, but we'll have to see what WWE wants to do. We'll get in now to the the women's title matches, both from Raw and SmackDown. First from Raw, Alexa Bliss, the champion, is going head-to-head with Sasha Banks. This was supposed to be Bayley's opportunity to get her Raw Women's Championship back, but due to an injury, she is out of SummerSlam. So that's why That's why Banks is challenging Bliss for the title. I think Banks will win it, but then I think Alexa will probably get it back either the following night on Raw or at the next pay-per-view, which is No Mercy. So we'll have to see what happens with that. Naomi is going against Natalya for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. You also have Carmella, who is the SmackDown Live Women's Money in the Bank briefcase holder. So we could see her cash in on whoever wins this match. And I really could see that happening. I'm going to have Naomi retain, but then I think Carmella will come out with her, especially being from Staten Island, New York, SummerSlam being in Brooklyn. She'll get a lot of cheers, hopefully. I know the crowd doesn't really like her. A lot of fans don't like her, other than she's hot. And she's dating Big Cass, so you got to give props to Big Cass, even though you hate him now for, turning heel on Enzo Amore. But I think Carmella will cash in and then become the new SmackDown Live Women's Champion. Okay, now into the main card. Raw Tag Team Championships. Just talked about the SmackDown Live ones. I could really care less about this match as well. I mean, the only thing I could really see happening with this, other than Cesaro and Sheamus retaining, is Roman Reigns coming out and helping Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, and then you'll have your little mini Shield reunion that people have wanting to see happen for the past 4 years, but the past 3 years, excuse me, because it was June of 2014 that the Shield broke up, that Seth Rollins turned and sold out to the Authority and all that. But that'd be nice if the Shield did, get back together for a night, because people have been wanting to see it happen. But I could really care less. So I'm going to have Cesaro and Sheamus retain. And then, going back to the Authors of Pain, maybe they put them on Raw, because the tag team division, I think, again, for both Raw and SmackDown, is not that great. It could be better, but it's not that great at the moment. So I think Cesaro and Sheamus will retain their Raw Tag Team Championships at SummerSlam tomorrow night. Just talked about Big Cass because of Carmella. Big Cass turned on Enzo Amore. It turned out that he was the guy who was attacking Enzo backstage. So they haven't been a tag team since all that happened. Big Cass will be going one-on-one against Big Show with Enzo locked inside a shark cage above the ring. Enzo, he'll probably get involved with the match somehow. He'll end up getting out of the damn cage and helping either Big Show defeat Big Cass, or he'll turn on Big Show, and Big Cass and Enzo will get back together as a tag team. And I think Big Cass is going to win because Enzo will help him. And Big Show, he'll just be going back to, helping some other big name or up and rising talent you get over with the crowd, as he's going to do with Big Cass tomorrow night. Randy Orton got a couple matches, 2 matches here next from SmackDown Live. Randy Orton's going one-on-one against Rusev. I think the Viper will defeat the Bulgarian Brute. He'll probably RKO him a couple times, and that'll be that. John Cena is going head-to-head with Baron Corbin. Corbin actually just lost his Money in the Bank briefcase this past Tuesday night on SmackDown Live. So if you missed that, I'm sorry for spoiling the news to that as well. He cashed in on Jinder Mahal after a match between John Cena and Jinder Mahal. And he got screwed by Cena. So, it just fits right in now that he's facing him at SummerSlam this year. Cena, it'd be nice if he could put Baron Corbin over. But I think John Cena will win, and then they're ever since he came back on the 4th of July, they've been saying free agent John Cena. You know, he's going to be showing up at Raw and SmackDown. I think he's going to be done with SmackDown now, and they're going to put him on Raw there for a little bit, and you know, have him go head-to-head with some of Raw's best superstars. So I think John Cena will defeat Baron Corbin and then be moving to Raw. Finn Balor then, speaking of Raw, is going head-to-head with Bray Wyatt. This match should be, I think, one of the best matches of the night. You got two guys that really know the history of wrestling. They have good chemistry together. It seems like with all these promos and all those vignettes. I really like this past Monday Night on Raw, especially when Bray dumped so-called blood on Finn Balor to get the demon awakened. Excuse me, if awaken's even a word. But the demon Finn Balor is going to be making his long-awaited return against Bray Wyatt tomorrow night at SummerSlam, and I think Bray Wyatt will defeat. I think Finn Balor will defeat Bray Wyatt. So, even though I'm a big Bray Wyatt fan, big Bray Wyatt supporter, I think Finn Balor will defeat Bray Wyatt, and then he should get back into the Universal title picture because he never lost his Universal title after having to relinquish it, excuse me if I can talk, the night after SummerSlam last year, after defeating Seth Rollins the night before at SummerSlam. He hurt his shoulder pretty bad. He tore that up, and then he was out up until the night after WrestleMania. So Finn Balor, I think, will defeat Bray Wyatt and get back into the title picture. AJ Styles then is going head-to-head with Kevin Owens for the U.S. Championship. I think Styles will retain Kevin Owens. The new Face of America thing, I really liked, but it's still going on even though he's not the champion. But I think if they have Styles retain, maybe get Owens back into the world title picture because he was the Universal Champion up until Fastlane when Goldberg beat him, and then Lesnar defeated Goldberg at WrestleMania. I think if you have Owens lose to Styles, or maybe they even have Owens get back the U.S. title, they go forward with this whole new Face of America thing and blow it out of proportion. We'll have to see. I think it'd be best if they had Styles win, and then the next match, Jinder Mahal and Shinsuke Nakamura. I think Shinsuke Nakamura is going to win that, so then you put Owens against Nakamura, and I think what they did, I know they never faced each other down in NXT because Owens had got called up. Hell, Nakamura wasn't even the WWE at the time whenever Owens had got called up to the main roster. So, but anyways, I think Owens will go after the WWE Championship because I think Nakamura is going to defeat Jinder Mahal, and then we're not going to see Jinder Mahal for a long time. Or if we do, he's going to be a mid-card guy. I can't really see WWE moving forward with this whole modern-day Maharaja thing any too much longer. I'll put it as that. So I have AJ Styles defeating Kevin Owens for the U.S. title, and then Shinsuke Nakamura defeating Jinder Mahal for the WWE Championship. And then in the main event, we got a fatal four-way for the Universal Championship, as I was just talking about. Brock Lesnar is defending that title against Braun Strowman, Samoa Joe, and Roman Reigns. The most realistic thing I could see happening, other than Lesnar winning and moving on to face whoever WWE wants him to face, is Roman Reigns winning that match. Lesnar loses. He said if he loses, both him and Paul Heyman will leave. There are rumors, or a lot of people are speculating that he's going to be going back to the UFC to have a fight with John Bones Jones. We'll have to see if that happens. But Lesnar, he's still under contract for the WWE up until WrestleMania 34, which is in New Orleans, Louisiana, next April 8th. So we'll have to see what happens there, but I think Lesnar will retain, and then he'll end up facing. A lot of people wanted to see him face, Braun Strowman at Great Balls of Fire, but with Strowman being injured, they sort of nixed that and moved Samoa Joe into the main event picture. Strowman was capable of fighting at Great Balls of Fire. Hell, he did fight at Wrestle at Great Balls of Fire, but it was against Roman Reigns. That's the whole ambulance match thing, and they blew that out of proportion as well. But I think Lesnar will retain, and then he'll end up facing Braun Strowman at No Mercy, which is at the end of September. So that's it for WWE NXT Takeover Brooklyn 3 and SummerSlam 2017. As I said at the beginning of the show, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. You can hit me up on Twitter at CoolHandLuke96. You can hit me up on Instagram as well at Godissart96. I'm Luke Godissart, and this has been Across the Goal Line. You can follow us on all social media, as I said at the beginning of the episode as well. So just check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And I'll see you sometime soon in the near future for my 2017 college and NFL previews.